Endless Dungeon on the Xbox One. This is a game that I obtained from the Maryland Library System. A sort of another take, a different take of a game that Amplitude Studios produced about a decade ago, I believe, called Dungeon of the Endless, which I played on the Xbox One like in 2018 or 2019, I think. That game I think came out in 2014 or 2015. This game is apparently something like it's something closer to Diablo, I suppose. Like what if Diablo, like basically what if Diablo were a tower defense game? Is what this game sounds like. So it's taking a lot of familiar mechanics from Dungeon of the Endless and putting them in a more conventional real-time action game. So I would say that game, Dungeon of the Endless, is more of a turn-based, room-based, again, a tower defense game, where you were basically moving characters from node to node or from door to door, instead of actually controlling their movement in real time, really. This game is more like Diablo, where if imagine taking that original concept and putting it in a more robust engine and making it a more of a real-time action game. I'm going to redo the tutorial for this particular part of the video because already made it to the 4th level on my first ever run. So basically this game is not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. But we will play through this tutorial so I can explain the basics. For people who have played Dungeon of the Endless, some of these mechanics will sound familiar, but as you can see, this character is running around in real time. Again, more like a Diablo game, an isometric Diablo game. Move with L, I'm aiming with the right stick. It's a dual stick shooter in this case. This part of the game is like a dual stick shooter. So again, they're trying to doing another take on that particular game. These camera moves are really weird. This is version 1.0. It has not been patched. I should also mention the frame rate is really janky and it's really, really janky. Like the frame rate will dip in the low to the 20s. I want to say on multiple occasions. It probably runs a lot better on the Xbox Series consoles. But I'm glad this 2023 game is available on the Xbox One. Again, for people who think you can't play modern games on an Xbox One, well, here's a game that came out in 2023. And I played, what was it? Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, 2024. And of course, Sniper Elite 4, I want to say. Was it Sniper Elite 5, I think? Sniper Elite Resistance came out in 2024 as well. So yeah, another one of those last gen games. And this is Zed. Yeah, we know it's the Samus Aran shoulders. So I guess she's a bounty hunter. I don't know. So I mean, I dig that part of her character design. The art in this game is not amazing, but it does the job. But remember, it's an Amplitude game. The art doesn't have to be amazing. I do have a bunch of Amplitude games. I have Endless Legend, which is their 4X turn-based strategy game, kind of like Civilization. I do have that on PC. I played it several years ago on this channel, but it was just sort of a research stream to see how laptop friendly it was. So I'll probably be playing more of that later this year while it's really hot. So if you remember Dungeon of the Endless, this is a crystal that we'll have to take to the exit. The game will explain more of that later. Like in Hades, I guess you got these. we got a real time isometric action game, and we can go through these doors. Every time you go through these doors, time basically passes. Each door you open generates 3 different types of resources. Again, I apologize for the text. I can't make it any larger. I guess this game was meant to be played at a larger resolution. This video is captured at 720p. This game probably was made to be played at 1080p, given the size of the text here. But I can read it, but you kind of have to scrunch up close to the monitor, which is how I'm playing. Always keep an eye on their current stock and door-based production. You can see on the top right-hand corner of the screen how many units of each metric I'm gaining every time I go through a door. Second, can we see that from here? Not really. Top right-hand corner. The top is, what is that? Science units. The one below that, I have 30 industry units, or 30 pips of industry. 25 pips of food below that, and the +5 next to each diamond shows how much I'm gaining every time I open the door. This is a resource generator slot, so I can press A and I can decide what I want to gain. I can boost the production of one of my 3 metrics here. So every time I open the door, I can give myself extra food, extra industry, or extra science. I want to say this game's going to recommend that I do industry. Yeah, they're going to force me to do industry production. So I'll boost my industry production. See the top right-hand side of the screen where it says 20 on top? That's my science. The 20 below that is my industry. So I'm gaining 10 pips of industry per turn or per door opened instead of just 5. So again, every time I open the door, you see my all my metrics go up by the designated amount. So those are basically my resources, and they are increased every time I open a door. This game has real-time action, but it's very much it uses the doors to kind of gate your progress, to kind of advance the states that the game simulates, I suppose. Dungeon of the Endless did a similar thing, but again, how do you trigger state changes? You open a door in this game. And they periodically attack in waves. And I want to say the wave system is also door-based, not real-time. So slap them defensive turrets to protect the generators and the crystal bot. Yeah, that crystal we saw at the beginning of the level, that's what we need to protect. And we have these slots right here. We can place turrets. So the game's going to tell us to just... We can spend some of our industry pips to build defensive turrets on dedicated slots, which are these things right here. The straight shooter will attack monsters within range. And I should probably mention this. Pretty early in the game, it becomes obvious. Enemies will not get past your turrets. I have not had a single enemy spawn and get past any of my turrets. So as long as I place it within this designated area that's lit up around here, the circle around the turret, determines the range. And I've never had an enemy survive more than a couple of seconds. As soon as the enemies spawn here, that turret will take it out, so don't worry about it. Press the select button on the Xbox One controller and you can see the overlay map. Show the captions. Press left on the D-pad. You can see all the captions here on the right side of the screen, so you know that's the key, the legend, for this particular map. And we can open all these doors, so we're fine. We're good. Oh, here comes a wave. And the game will explain this because there's on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a wave EKG meter, I guess you could call it. Whoop, that guy got past. That guy got past the turret. Oh, forget I said anything. Look at the top of the screen. You can press the left trigger to trigger your hero's active skill. Its gauge refills automatically over a short time. Okay. So it did get past it. Which is strange. This is not. Well, once I leave the tutorial, this will be a non-issue apparently. Or maybe my turrets are just really strong. We'll find out later. But for the purposes of this tutorial, the turret isn't particularly strong, I guess. So the idea is you want to take those enemies out before they get to your crystal robot, which is down there on the bottom of the screen, in the second room from the start. So just keep your eye on that. We don't really have to worry about it now, but it'll be an issue later. So you see on the bottom left right-hand corner of the screen where the radar is. Above the radar is a danger symbol. So apparently every time we open the door, that determines the likelihood that the next door we open will trigger a wave like the one we just had. The tutorial will explain all of that later. My squad has a medkit on hand. Before continuing, use your medkit by holding X, but I'm not hurt. Okay, I'm barely hurt, so whatever. You turn up the volume here. Of course, you won't be able to hear anything, so don't worry about it. So what's this? Press the A button to build. There's nothing here, so we'll just whack it. Okay, so it's just it's a way to freeze enemies, I guess. It's an exploding barrel, as are all these things. I believe we have unlimited ammo here. I've never been asked to reload, so I think we just have unlimited ammo. Bugger off. I found a handgun. Only some heroes can equip that category of weapon. Press the A button to pick it up. So I can carry this gun. Switch weapons with the Y button. You can only carry 2 weapons. Press the Y button to switch between the 2. On the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see my sweeper character. And the next to the right of the Y button is the gun that I'm carrying. It's a fire gun. Press the Y button again to switch to my regular bullets. Okay. That'll be important later. It's not terribly important yet. So I don't think I needed to do that. So enemies are spawning right here. So the enemies that spawn here are light enemies that are vulnerable to electricity. So maybe that's why my guns were not as effective against those bugs. We'll find out later. So we can build a gun right here. Straight suit, we can reduce the area of effect. I think that plus sign says at 150 pips of health, I suppose. Preview range. So it shows how far these things will shoot. Shove to add bonus damage and fire rate per. I don't know what that means. You can build this for 8 on the bottom of the circle. It says we can build this for 7 pips of industry. We see on the top right-hand corner of the screen we have 55 pips of industry, so I can afford to spend that on this. Whack. So I whacked it. Okay. I don't know if I need to do that. The A button's for whacking. Give me the B button is for whacking. That should be enough for now. So on this map here, these red rooms are the rooms that spawn enemies. The red, I guess the red exclamation mark there is for the bugs. Let's see. Monster spawner, yeah. About 8 or 9 lines down. The red square is for the bugs, and the blue square is for the bots. I believe the bots are vulnerable to acid. Inspect. These are poison enemies that are vulnerable to fire. Is that what that was? Let me check on that. I don't know what that symbol is. I think they're vulnerable to acid. That's not very helpful. But I think this just shoots regular bullets, doesn't it? Doesn't say. 3 damage per second. I think it does 5 point. I don't know what those values mean. Figure that out later. There's a couple of doors over here we can visit. But as long as they're far away from our crystal, we should be fine. So I guess I want to explore the doors that are furthest away. The danger symbol is not that hot, so we should be fine. Now, what's this? Okay, we have to get the crystal bot to this slot in order to open the door. We're gonna have non-stop waves. So yeah, once we tell the crystal bot to make its way here, it's gonna summon an unlimited swarm of enemies until the bot is planted in that area. So in other words, in the what game was it? In Dungeon of the Endless, the principle was the same. You would have one character carry the crystal from the starting point to the destination, and it would move very slowly. So the point was to escort the crystal carrier to the destination. How's the danger? The danger symbol is not that bad. So bottom right hand corner of the screen, the danger EKG meter is pretty low, so we should be fine. The danger meter. Open that up. I think, what is that? I have no idea what that is. The game wants us to start the wave. We'll get around to that later. Got another door right here. Let's see. So again, people who've played Dungeon of the Endless will recognize some of these mechanics, and I think they're kind of interesting. I've been playing this game for a few hours. I actually prefer Dungeon of the Endless, frankly, because I don't think the real-time stuff improves the gameplay. It just makes it less automated, if you will. So you have more control over your characters in this game than in Dungeon of the Endless. But the action isn't really worth it, I would argue. And there are actually some very hit spongy bosses here that aren't particularly good. You'll see one later. It took like maybe 10 or 15 minutes to beat. It's not even that hard. So it just takes a lot. It just tanks a lot of damage. So I think we're done. Yeah, we're done. So in order to open this door back here, we need the spider bot in this slot, which triggers the endless waves. So what I'll do is I'll drop a couple more defensive turrets out here. Just to make, because remember, this bot's going to move very slowly from its starting position all the way out to the end position. So we'll drop a couple more turrets. We can also slow these guys down. Not from here, though, right? Increases defensive heroes. Only if it's in the same room, so that's not worth it. This slows down the monsters, but it's not worth it. So if you were going to have a jellyfish to slow down the monsters, it should be here. We'll worry about that later. So the straight shooter will serve its purpose there. We'll drop another one here at the door. We have enough industry points to afford that. And we opened a bunch of doors before doing any of this, so we earned more industry points anyway. Okay, so it's going to be another, and more monsters are going to spawn here. So the idea is to like place a bunch of guns in areas where it's actually going to protect the crystal bot or kill any enemies that try to leave the area. So let's block the door. We can also slow it down. We can also slow down any. We can slow down any enemies that try to get through the door. Then use this to shoot them. We still have plenty of industry points. We can afford to place more turrets if we need to. So we can place another one here just to be safe. And I guess we can place another one here again just for funsies. So we have a bunch of turrets that we probably won't even need. So we've slowed down the enemies, right? Yeah, these turrets will take care of the rest. All right. I think people are actually putting up fireworks now. Morons. Today's the 2nd, not the 3rd of July. So we're ready to trigger the wave. Hold the A button down. And the bot, so here comes the spider bot's on its way. So we'll clear the area out to make sure it's safe. You can teleport to your crystal bot by holding up on the D-pad. I've never had to do that yet. It might be needed later. Here it comes. So we'll clear the area out in front of the bot to make sure it's clean. These red dots in the map are monsters. Look at the top left of the screen. You can trigger your ultimate skill. Your refill is based on the damage dealt to monsters. I guess we'll do that later. I pressed LB. Oh, sorry, wrong button. That didn't do too much. Here they come. Here's the crystal bot. Careful. These guys are stronger than I thought. Okay, he's almost to the destination. What? Oh, the other generator's under attack. Yeah, they're attacking the industry generator that was in the other room near the start of the area. What matters is protecting the robot, the crystal bot. And then once all these enemies are gone, the wave will be over. Generator, hold on. We have to get to the generator. We'll get to the generator just a second. So I guess it was a decoy. Okay, so the generator's fine. Didn't take that much damage anyway. I guess it was no danger really. I would say maybe the generator was never really in danger, but I guess if nothing else, it served as a decoy. Yeah, the spawning enemies will attack the generator and the crystal bot if they come across it. So you might have to defend those items too. So now the exit door is open, so now we can leave. Ideally, we should be going to where the corpses of the enemies are and pick up any of the loot they left behind. Yeah, those are scrap. They're on the. You can't see it right now, can you? No, not there. Where can we see the scrap? Not here. So I can't see the scrap, but it'll show up later. Yeah, there it is on the far right side of the screen. Shoved it. So I guess we increase his experience points. I don't know. Should be fine. Seems to have plenty of health left, right? You didn't take that much. I don't think it took any damage really. So I guess it leveled up by killing a bunch of enemies. I'm not sure. Well, that's more loot for us. Don't even know what it is. So this is the door we can now open. We got a couple more doors to go through. Hold on. So I guess there are some random enemies around here. So it's not technically a spawn. So let's drop a couple more of these. Let's do a jellyfish to slow him down. And a bot to finish him off. Remember, these are bot spawners. So it's weak to electricity, which we don't have. We don't have electric weapons. So I guess you might want to save that for when it's time to move your crystal bot. I'm not sure. The danger meter isn't getting that much stronger. We need the crystal bot to open this door, because that's the exit door. To better plan your next steps, you can press, the tactical map, which is the select button, or the menu button, if you will. So if you hold down the button, it'll command the crystal bot to move here and open the door, but there's no place for it to settle down. So you're gonna have to escort the crystal bot as it opens this door and then goes to the destination. Like sometimes there's a resting area, like an actual resting area for the bot on the other side of a door like this. Okay, so we'll leave a couple here just to protect it. So while it's doing its job, we'll leave a couple of straight shooters here to protect it. Probably leave a couple more. So it's not going to move that far. We'll just make sure this place is locked down. So that might be enough. This is just some extra defenses. Okay. So it's gonna come running in a second. Or is it just done? I think the level's just done. Okay, yes, it's the end of the level. Okay, so we're fine. So I thought we were going to have to face another horde, but I guess we're fine. So there's your basic gameplay loop. So now we can actually play a real game. So I was in the middle of this run. Like I said, I'm not really in any danger here. This particular level is not that difficult. So having established the basics, we'll skip ahead to where I left off the game. I just fought a boss to get here. Hopefully there won't be another one. But like I said, I've been playing this game for about 2.5 hours. Dungeon of the Endless is way better, but it's also way harder. So this is way easier. Unless there was a difficulty level I forgot to change, this game is way easier. And we're unlocking a lot of stuff here, so that's fine. So this is the new. So we can't go back the way we came. This is the 4th floor, I want to say. Anyway, confirm. Let's see. X. Yeah, we have a couple of achievements you can earn while we're here. So every time we go down the stairs, we unlock a new area, or a new district in this case. Yeah, so we're in the life incubator now. We haven't unlocked any new heroes yet. The bunker is, I want to say the bunker is basically just a crystal bot. Yeah, we're in floor 4 now. So yeah, these are all the floors we've unlocked so far. Can we read the rest of that? No, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, how do I switch characters? I also need to heal some of my characters, so we'll work on that. There might be some healing items here. I don't know, because I think the crystals we're picking up might be healing items. Yeah, this is safe, so we're fine. Yeah, the bottom right-hand corner of the screen is implying that it's safe, so we should be good. Press the Y button to switch weapons. We have a light gun and a fire gun. And how do I switch? Is it the I held down the up button to teleport. Okay. Hold down the up button to teleport to your crystal bot. And let me go to the control settings because there are a couple other options I want to make clear. Controller, yeah. Use active skill, use ultimate skill, shoot, shove, heal with the X button if you need to. Weapon switch. Open the order wheel, right bumper. So if you hold up on the right stick while holding down the the right bumper, you can trigger a wave. You can also order your companion to stop following you. Hold right bumper, press down on the right stick, and it'll follow you again. Now, there's a way to switch characters, and I want to make sure I show you that because you don't have to play as a sweeper. I can play as Samus if I want. So it's over here at the bottom. And by the way, you can save anywhere and go back to the main menu if we have to. We don't have to do that here, but we'll do that later. Because that's how you're able to save your game. But again, I want to say it's a suspend save, not a permanent save that you can scum and come back to multiple times. So it's like I'm going to bed, come back later save. It's a suspend, not like a scummed save apparently. If there is a way to do that, I'm not sure what it is. Lightroom by pressing down on the D-pad, I can't do that yet. Ping, I want to say it's for network connections. Switch to the next hero with the right bumper. So if you just tap the right bumper, you switch characters. Samus here has heavy arms. She has a fire gun and a poison gun. An acid gun, I guess you could call that. We have to hold the X button. I don't have a med kit, so I'm out of med kits. So the fourth on the top right hand side of the screen, fourth line down, I'm out of med kits. So I don't know. I might have to buy one. There are stations where you can buy them, or merchants who I want to say who can sell them to you. But I might just have to keep my eye on her because she might be more vulnerable right now. So again, you hold the right bumper to give commands, or you just tap the right bumper to switch characters. So we'll do this for now. Samus here is slower. You know, Vasquez from Aliens. Yeah, Vasquez from Aliens was a bounty hunter, I suppose. Let's rock. We don't have to build that yet. Okay, I have to tell my dude to come help me. Follow me. So now he's going to join me. So you have a couple of doors over here, below us and above us. What's that? What are we going to build here? So it's a room where we can build a generator, I believe. Yeah. So what do we have plenty? We need more industry. Yeah, because we're generating. Yeah, we're not generating anything on this floor. So we'll buff our industry so we can probably make some more turrets if needed. You can also buff your science if you want to earn research points towards better upgrades, but honestly, the upgrades I've found aren't that useful. You can spend some of your currency, or I believe you can spend some of your resources on re-rolling the items that can be researched towards, like your research goals. You can't choose them, but you can re-roll your choice of you can re-roll the choices that you get in your research options, and I'll show you that later. I don't think we need that. So if we want to protect this, we can set a turret here, I suppose. Just in case. Probably not necessary, though. Specs reduces movement speed of monsters by 80%, adds 80 defense to monsters every 30 seconds for 10 seconds. But it requires a currency I don't have. It requires one of those yellow pips. On the far right side of the screen, the last line, I have 0 of those pips. So whatever currency I need to unlock that, I don't have. Where do I earn them? I don't know. Maybe by shooting stuff. I'm holding down the fire button. I'm holding down the right trigger. It's like a grenade launcher. Cute. Y button. So if you hold down the right trigger, this is just the acid gun, but I want to say it's a spread of some sort. Weapons and devices, you can drop either item if you don't want it. On the right side of the screen, it shows this is my heavy gun. Fire piercing damage. Best against bug monsters, weak against blur monsters. Critical explosion that burns monsters. This is the splatter gun, strong against blobs. Mid-range cone of acid damage. You can see the damage it does as well. Weak against bugs. Press right. So you can see the attributes for each character on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Yeah, he has more vitality. Or is that wit? So she's a slow brick. Yeah. So she's the slow brick, I suppose. Sonic Boom inflicts neutral damage to monsters in front of the hero. Death Metal reduces movement speed and defense of monsters. Increases fire rate and attack damage of the hero. Mad Shred. Attack damage is increased each time a monster is eliminated by this hero up to a cap. This bonus decreases over time. I mean, I guess that might be useful if I can make sense of it. Special abilities for the sweeper. Actually, what? First of all, who is Samus here? Yeah, whatever. Bounty Hunter, level 1. Sweeper reduces movement speed of monsters in a cone-shaped area. It's very specific. Mop NATO, large circular area of effect, reduces movement speed and fire resistance of monsters. Monsters are knocked back. Increases the hero's passive skill efficiency, whatever that even means. Turret Meister, fire rate of turrets in the same room is increased. That's very specific. Don't care. Weapons and devices. Increases the fire rate when using a weapon dealing neutral damage. Do I have one? This does light damage. Weak against bolts. This does fire damage, weak against blurs. So I don't have neutral damage anymore. I got rid of the gun that does neutral damage. This door is locked by a barrier. So in one of these rooms is a barrier that we can grab, that we can turn off, and that will unlock all those red doors you're going to see on the map here. We'll get to that later. Now, this looks different. But this is a respawn area. What are these guys vulnerable to? Weak to... Not against this gun. Maybe against fire. I'm not sure. Is that what that says? I can't read that. It's not very helpful. Adds 50 health to monsters in dark rooms. Oh, heals. Wait, what? I have no idea what that means. But this is a dark room, so we can't lay down any turrets here because it's dark. If you have dust, you can spend dust lighting the room. I don't know how to get dust. That might be that currency you see on the right side of the screen. Last line. Straight shooter, we can slow enemies down here, I suppose. Fatal focus, this does light damage, this does neutral damage. Here comes the wave. Okay, so I guess we triggered something. So we have our guns here in case we need them. Any other spawn points? No. So we're good. This is the only wave that's available right now. See if there are any monsters that show up. See? They're dead right away. See, they're just killed right away. Are they just dying right away? It's like they're dying right away. Is the gun killing them? Okay, are these things like dying right away? Because I don't think I ever shot them. I think they just dissolved. Like, did the game forget to spawn the? I mean, the enemies are just dying as soon as they get spawned. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I shot them. Because that's been happening on every floor I've played so far. So I don't know what's going on. Can't open the red door yet, so I can only go this way or yeah, that way. So I can go to the left or go up. Over here. No. Build. No, we're not going to build a turret here yet. No spawn points here. So I can upgrade here. Upgrade Z or upgrade the sweeper. Press the right bumper to switch. You can also refresh your choices here if you want to spend 10 food. You can re-roll the choices that are available. Adds attack damage, reduces fire rate. Huh. Okay, so they're different choices for each hero. Increases movement speed. I guess that's useful. Increases fire rate, turrets, and crystal bot. That increases the fire rate by 10%. That's not much. Adds knockback, shove. Adds attack damage. Sounds amazing. Adds knockback for heroes within range. So basically short range knockback. Not short range knockback distance. That's 20% attack damage. So that sounds like a permanent upgrade. So we'll spend some food on that upgrade. So which door should we try? I don't think it matters. There's a merchant. And I want to say sometimes spawn points appear in the merchant area, which is kind of hilarious. I don't think I can spend food on these. I think I have to spend food to buy these. Or do I spend science? I think I'm spending science on these. Acid Hooser. I don't think I want any of these. These are all downgrades. Yeah, these are all downgrades. Add shove damage if no other heroes are in the same room. That's oddly specific. I don't want any of these. Trash. So we're not going to purchase any of that trash. It's unfortunate. Thought there'd be some loot in here, but there isn't. So we found the merchant. This looks important. There's also a dark room. Found a treasure chest. We got a district key. Take it back to the saloon hacking post. Okay. Hold on. Wave incoming. Let's lay down some straight shooters. Let me try something. I want to see if the enemies actually come out of the wall. Check for the red dots in the map. Top right hand corner, bottom left corner. See what happens to those red dots. They die right away. This is a dark room, by the way. See, they died right away. That's weird. It's like the enemies are dying as soon as they spawn. Is this game bugged? It's been doing that ever since I started this run. Yeah, enemies just die right away. I don't even have to shoot them or anything. I don't know what that was in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, by the way. So the enemies just dying without me having to shoot them? I don't remember choosing an easy mode difficulty for this. That's hilarious. That means there's no risk of me dying. Weird. Like I said, that's been happening since I started playing this game. At least outside the tutorial area. Maybe it's just a bugged run. Literally. Well, not literally, but maybe it's just a broken some kind of broken spawn. And what are we generating? Let's try some science. We have plenty of science. Guess we can generate food instead. Again, I don't even think I need 8 turrets. Enemies just die right away. It's weird. They're not. The turrets aren't even shooting at anything. At least not here in the actual dungeon in the tutorial, sure. But you saw how long those. You saw how quickly those enemies got past us. You saw how quickly the enemies got past the turrets, but it's not happening here. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think it might just be bugged. Not that I'm complaining. I'm making so much progress. Research. This will trigger a wave, by the way. Starting research will trigger a wave. What do I want? Inflicts light damage to a single monster. Already, this levels up the fatal focus. Reduces damage of monsters, increases elemental weakness or monsters. When monsters are in this turret's area of effect, increases critical chance. That's very specific. I don't want any of this. I don't even think I need any of it. And this is a barrier, so we have to unlock the barrier to open those red doors. Hold on, we got another wave coming. Of course, they'll probably die right away if I'm being honest. We'll find out in a second. This is an enemy spawn room, so let's see what happens. A thing just happened. See, the enemies are dying right away. None of the enemies are leaving the room. They spawn, then die immediately. Yeah, see? All these enemies are just dead. Nothing's happening. I think this is bugged. Because you saw what happened in the tutorial. Yeah, no one's shooting these guys. They're just dying. I don't think I need any turrets. The game's just broken. I literally have the magic run. This is it. This is the run. Okay, so those red doors now turn green. So we can open them now. Because that thing we touched was a barrier. So we'll open that in a second. So maybe there's no risk whatsoever from any... I mean, there are risks to bosses, but there's no risk to any enemies actually attacking me. Because the game's been doing that ever since I started playing. I mean, again, this dungeon specifically. Hunting rifle. What kind of damage? This is just neutral damage. We already have a fire weapon. Show details. No elemental power, really. Yeah, it's just a... So this weapon is a downgrade, it looks like. Switch. So he can't equip this weapon. It's only for her, which makes sense. I don't even know if I want this fire weapon. It just seems like a downgrade. I don't get it. But there's no comparison here. The game doesn't put up a comparison window so you can see how much better the weapon is. It just says if it's better or worse based on those statistics. So that's not very helpful. Like in a Borderlands, the game would show you the weapon you're carrying and give you a comparison window just so you can see what value, to see how much the values are going up. Yeah, like it's basically a splatter gun with no acid damage. Fire rate, yeah, it's just whatever. But I already have a fire weapon, so I guess this could be a neutral weapon. Okay, so we'll make it our neutral weapon. Alright, so whatever. There's another wave coming in, it probably won't make a difference. So I guess there is some real-time clock going off. I thought it was based on when I opened the door. Oh well. This is a spawn area. Hold on, we have jumping jellyfish, whatever that even means. And the enemies just died again. So I guess I can just avoid all this crap and just keep exploring, I suppose. Yeah, none of the enemies are getting past us. Okay, so this is where we can put the spider. If this is a special wave, it doesn't seem to make a difference. Yeah, no one's getting out of the room. They're just the turrets aren't necessary at all. I connect the crystal bot, so we need to move the crystal bot to this room to unlock the door. Same with this one. So the enemies can't attack us because as soon as they spawn, they die, which is incredibly stupid. So yes, this game's broken at this point. So I guess maybe I just got a good run. So I guess we'll just do the perfect run. It's amazing. I mean, there's no way for me to know what the difficulty level is there? Because I don't know what difficulty level I chose. Yeah. I mean, I did have to fight that one boss on the floor before this one. It was just a really lame tanky boss. Just a really lame hit sponge. So we got to move the robot here. Okay. Well, he's not gonna. I mean, there's no risk, obviously, as we've established. No one's gonna kill us. Yes, those are all the doors. So the robot's gonna move from this room over here, and he probably won't even get attacked at all. So let's summon the bot. Amazing. So let's see if they come. Yeah. See, all the enemies just spawned in the room next to us, and they all died immediately. So we'll collect. So I'll collect the scrap. It's like we unlocked an easy mode that I didn't know existed. Yeah, no risk whatsoever. Bizarre. And the wave's completed. Huh. I think this game might just be broken. So we'll clear out this room, then turn off the video. So yeah, I think this game's just broken at this point. Maybe that's why. I mean, I didn't even know that's what was happening until just now. I mean, it seemed weird that none of the enemies seemed to be a threat in these dungeons, but that seems to be why. They're just dying as soon as they spawn now. We have evidence. We have proof right here. It's weird. I'm gonna have to patch the game. But why would I give up? Why would I give up the sick run? I'm just gonna leave the game as is to see what I can unlock. Maybe it's just an easy way to unlock all the content. If you're willing to grind through it. I found a shard. It can be used to upgrade my crystal bot. Order a crystal bot to come drill it. You'll face a monster wave to the boss reconnected to a slot. Sure, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's the drill they're talking about, so we'll worry about that. Again, we're probably not going to get attacked anyway, if I'm being honest. So what's the point of upgrading the bot? Does it, like, get more loot? Yeah, the fire rate on this thing is not amazing, but whatever. Does the job. So how many more we got? Yeah, the robot's here, so we'll just go. The crystal bot's here. Whoop, here comes the wave. Again, no risk. Let's not kid ourselves. We'll see what happens. This looks important. I guess it's just environmental. Adds poison status to monsters in this room. I'm pretty sure it won't make a difference because they're already going to die anyway. Yep, no enemies spawning. Oh well. No worries, mate. Because we can just do the speed run. Which reminds me, there's a laptop. Yeah, the frame rate's dipping here. It's getting really choppy and sloppy. But this does remind me, there was a what do you call it? A real-time strategy game called what was it called? Infested Planet with a pretty sick theme song. Laptop friendly. I don't know if I played it on this channel, but it's super laptop friendly. This is the door I need to open. Triggers wave. So we'll do that door last. But yeah, no risk whatsoever. We're completely safe. See, we were never in any danger. Sad, really. So we got a couple more rooms to explore. So yeah, I guess this is easy mode. I accidentally unlocked easy mode, I suppose. So we'll just unlock all the content and see what happens later. But yeah, this game just makes me want to play Dungeon of the Endless instead. So I'm fine with that. Here's your med kit dispenser. So if I spend 20 food, I can get one more med kit. So check the third line from the top, right-hand corner of the screen. 491 food, so we'll spend one of those. And hold down the X button. So you can see fourth line from the top, right-hand side of the screen. That's how many med kits we have. So give the first one to Samus here by holding down the X button. Completely healed. So we'll buy one more for good measure. We have plenty of food, so we can afford to hoard these for later. In fact, if we're not gonna, if there's no risk of death, we might as well just heal ourselves now. But we'll just grab a couple more. Again, we might not even need to use them, because otherwise, I think food is only used for what? It's trading with a merchant? I'm not sure. So there are monsters, I think, when you first enter a spawn room, but they never respawn when the wave comes. I don't know what's going on. See, here's another spawn room. Treasure. We got 7 of something. Hold on, what's this? Not for Zed. Press the right bumper. This is a green gun. Press the Y button. So it's an improvement over this one. A lower fire rate, lower knockback. Wait. There we go. So it's a better one of these. This does neutral damage, though. Strong against blobs. I don't think we need them. Fire and this is fire and neutral. This is light and fire. So I guess I can swap out the fire weapon. It's acid. I don't think we need another acid gun, do we? Oh, that's right. We gave up our acid gun. Okay. Switch. Assuming we need that. Fire. We'll keep the light gun. That won't be a problem. That's another fire gun. Yes, we already have a fire gun, so we don't need another fire gun. So we have light, acid, fire, and neutral. So we have 4 different kinds of damage. We should be fine. Again, but if the enemies don't live long enough to make a difference, I don't think that'll be a problem. So we're done. Let's bring the spider over here. Spider bot, spider bot. So I guess we're close to I guess this is the end of the level. We'll find out in a second. Yeah, the enemies are spawning in a random room and they're just dying immediately. So let's trigger the wave. Let's see what happens. So spider bot's leaving its current dock and it'll move to the new dock slowly. Again, no one has to carry the crystal in this game. The crystal is autonomous. So yeah, this frame rate is not consistent, but I bet it runs way better on the Series X. They got this unlocked frame rate. And I don't think there's an option to actually lock the frame rate. Yeah, we're fine. No risk whatsoever. It's just weird. So I wish I could have promised you more action. I mean, I'm glad I showed you the tutorial, but if this game's enemies don't spawn, then we're basically just kind of wasting our time. We're just unlocking everything. Yeah, so it's taking its time. But yeah, we're just chilling. We're just hoarding loot, hoarding unlocks, hoarding unlockables, just kind of see what happens. But yeah, this frame rate is not amazing. So it's probably dip into the 20s, and it's very inconsistent, so that's not great. Not that it's a game that requires a really high frame rate, but you know, it makes it feel like a Switch game, if I'm being honest. Maybe it's all these lighting effects are just killing it. So you saw that bot go through the door. Now it needs to dock itself, and it's all done. So you have to protect it during that entire process. And that's it. That's the end of the floor. Eliminated monsters bonus. I forgot to grab some more scrap. Unless the game is automatically giving us the scrap that we left behind, I wouldn't be shocked. 'Cause I didn't want to go to every room and vacuum up every bit of scrap. So are we done? Guess not. So what do we want to spend? Oh, so we ran out of food, so we ran out of production. Is this the new floor? Okay, so this is the new floor. Okay. So we're in a new floor, so we can leave. So yeah, that's kind of weird. The enemies just don't pose a threat anymore for some reason, so we can save and return to the main menu. I don't remember seeing a difficulty slider, so I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's going on. Solo. Like, we're not gonna abandon the run. I just want to unlock. I just want to unlock everything. That sounds like my. That sounds like a plan. So it's a shame, really. I don't content management yet. Upgrades, add-ons, Pioneer Elite. Okay, whatever. So yeah, I think this game came out in 2023, and it's fine. It's the sequel to Dungeon of the Endless. If it's so, Dungeon of the Endless is the better game, if that's what to say. I've been playing this game for about 3.5 hours, including this 1 hour video. I'd rather just play Dungeon of the Endless. Even if this game had better, even if the enemies weren't bugging out, literally, I kind of wish there was more to. I kind of wish it was less sort of tedious. Like I said, there's a boss fight that you didn't see in this video that's not particularly amazing, so you didn't miss anything there. Like I said, it's just a tanky enemy. So I don't know. Maybe I have to download a patch. I'm not sure. But yeah, again, so don't confuse this game with Dungeon of the Endless. Dungeon of the Endless is the older game, and it's the better game from what I put maybe a dozen or so hours into Dungeon of the Endless. I really like it. It's a lot harder, but I think it's legit. Like I said, it seems laptop friendly. I don't believe there's any DRM, no Steam DRM on any of the Amplitude games. So I believe if you're buying something like Endless Legend, Dungeon of the Endless, you are getting a DRM free game. There's one other Endless game that I'm forgetting. Amplitude did that one as well, because there's dust in that game too, as I recall. But I forget what it's called. But I definitely want to. It definitely makes me want to pull out Dungeon of the Endless and play it on my laptop. So I guess I'll do a laptop-friendly video for that. Again, these laptop-friendly games are Steam Deck friendly too, which is to say, my laptops are very underpowered. But if you have a Steam Deck, it's more powerful than any of my laptops, so it should run on a Steam Deck. And the Steam summer sale is on through July 10th. Nothing really. I've already have most of the games on my wish list anyway. No real interesting specials that I've noticed, but I'll double check because I mean there are a couple of games that have been on my wish list for years, like Gremlins Inc., which is a board game. Old World is a game I've been curious about, which I think is a 4X game. I believe one of the Civ 4 developers is working on it. I'll double check. Tom Chick's been raving about it, but he's been kind of incognito lately because I guess he was too busy doing testing for Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. The only guy I know who actually liked the Suicide Squad game, although I think Sterling said it was above average. It was actually, yeah, it's on sale right now on the Steam stuff for like $4, but there's DRM and it's an online game, online requirement. So for $5, is it worth it? I don't know. Probably doesn't. It might not. It probably barely runs on my PC too, so it wouldn't even be worth it to find out. So, but anyway. So I recorded this with my Plantronics headset plugged into the quad-core Windows 10 education laptop with the Windows 10 camera app capturing this footage at 60 frames a second. Actually, it's capturing at 30 frames a second from my Vanco USB capture device. It's got an HDMI pass-through, so I'm playing on my flat screen TV with less input latency, but I'm recording directly onto my laptop using that Vanco device. It's a shame. This might be okay, but I tend to believe you're better. Dungeon of the Endless is cheaper. It runs better. It's a Switch-friendly game. You're probably just better off playing that game. So, if I'm missing something obvious, I'll come back and sample more of this game later. But for now, this is more of a YTF, so I can figure out what's going on with this game. Endless Dungeon on the Xbox One.